One of the most important skill sets any self-defender can have is first aid skills. Hi everyone, this is John with today's active self-protection lesson out of Venezuela. We're going to see here what looks to me to be an assassination attempt, but the lessons that we're going to learn here are all about first aid on yourself and on someone else, having the tools on you as well as the attitude and the plan to use them. You can just see the head of one of the victims here when this other guy comes over, draws a gun and starts taking shots at him. Now you'll see these guys all look like off-duty cops to me. See the first one draw a gun here and go after the suspect, but what we're really going to pay attention to is a guy who just pops up, you're going to see has an exit wound on his shoulder. Now his buddy comes up and starts checking in on him because he's shot pretty bad here, and you can see him now. He's going to actually give his gun over to his other buddy and start spitting on the ground. He's clearly impacted, in his windpipe, and he's not happy, and he's shot. So, we see that, and you can see he's badly bleeding. Now his buddies are going to come back and check in on him and start to put some pressure on those wounds. I think it's very interesting. This guy is very badly wounded, very badly shot, and yet he's still up, he's still coherent. They're still trying to make sure that what we have here is a cold zone and not a warm zone, and they're going to get him up here and start to get him to emergency medical care. They're going to get him out of this danger zone and instead, to the hospital where they can do some serious stuff on him. And this one's over. I don't know if he made it or not. Let's go back and learn some lessons out of this one. As always, there's 8 lessons on our website, link in the description. So this guy shoots this guy, and this looks like some kind of assassination attempt, and I don't think you could have done anything about that. Now, I totally get that this other guy here is going to draw his firearm just in case the threat is still around, but I don't know that there's anything that you could have done in that moment to see it coming unless you had super spidey senses or something like that. Now, they're going to go out and make sure that the threat is gone, but now we're going to start thinking about this man here who's been shot. First of all, he is still up, and so therefore he's still thinking and he's still in the fight. You got to take action to make yourself safe here. So I love that he gives his buddy his gun here. I think that's very wise. If you know, man, I could go into shock at any moment, giving somebody who can take care of your firearm to give it to them is a very good idea. Next, we can also see the exit wound here, and I'm not sure what that, what that exit wound is. Maybe he got shot with a Full Metal Jacket or whatever. Looks pretty high, but as he starts turning around here, you can see him spitting out stuff. He doesn't like what's going on around his neck, and as he turns around, you can see just how incredibly bloody he is. Now, it's very difficult to tell in the moment, if you ask anybody with medical training, exactly how bad an injury is, because bullets do weird things inside bodies. But here, he might have been hit in his subclavian artery. He might have been hit somewhere else that's obviously quite bloody, might have been shot more than once. And so you got to really get after some follow-up actions here. This is why first aid skills are so important. You see his buddy get his t-shirt off and start wrapping it. So we talk about that pack, pile, push, and pray mentality that says, listen, whether you want to call it TCCC or whatever, you want to get some direct pressure on that. We can do a lot to surface bleeding. Can't do much to bleeding that's internal though, and you don't know how bad that is. So you want to get him to the hospital as fast as you can. Get some direct pressure on that bleeding and those junctional injuries where you can't put a tourniquet on it. Get him up like they did here. Get him to the hospital just as fast as you can so they can get into him and make sure he's okay. So learn the lessons here about responding effectively, about having good first aid equipment on us, and about knowing how to use it so that we can save a life and cover our asp.